Got a hot mic somewhere. All right, so I'm dropping. I am dropping the link to the YouTube stream in the chat. Let me see. Where's the hot mic? We got. It sounds like Joseph. I think it's Joseph. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, man. Um, it sounded like you know what I mean? The static sounded like a faucet going on and off. I don't know what the deal was. Okay, so, and then the other thing I'm going to do, I try to do this at the beginning every day, is just drop the link the into the syllabus schedule. I'll explain everything. All right. Okay. So here's the deal. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the class of great mystery um, and intrigue, where we're going to figure out what in the crap we're doing. Um, and okay, let me start with this. So what's your expectation? Oh, and actually one other thing. Some of you are kind of shy. You'd rather not, speak up on the voice channel, and that's why we have the chat channel going as well. But here's the deal. One quick thing about the Discord chat. So it's great if you want to just drop comments there. What I'd like to do is, and I have my streaming stuff set up to drop the comments and let them stream out into the video stream. Problem is, before I can do that, I need to get kind of green light from everybody that basically it's FERPA, for kind of privacy about academic educational stuff. On the fringes of what FERPA is trying to be, there is even the fact that you're in a class can be viewed as, confidential information, right? Which makes sense under certain circumstances. Um, but what I've got to do basically between this week and next week is get everybody to kind of just agree to, if you can all agree to it. Basically, the idea would be you just sort of agree that you're going to change. You're either going to whatever the name is that shows up, right? Like whatever you're John Smith, James Smith. Um, that whatever that name is one you're okay that you agree, or you change it to Skater Boy or whatever. You know what I mean? So that whatever is showing up, you're okay with it going out on YouTube. There's another alternative, which is I just turn off YouTube and say, um, you know, no dice on YouTube, uh, because we just have to kind of decide how we best want to do that. So, um, and so I guess maybe I don't know. First, yeah, thanks, thank you, Steve. Um, yeah, so those are the options, and I guess if you guys want to drop any chat or jump on the voice, if you have any opinions about the advantage of having YouTube, obviously, is when there are circumstances where you can't be there. It's not optional in that sense, but I mean, we're supposed to be live streaming. But if that, whatever you're interested in, whatever we talked about, you want to go back and grab something, um, you missed it because of whatever reason, and you want to still be able to get to it. And saying, yeah, go. Then it's just sitting out there. The other thing that I like to do, especially in a class like 305G, and some of you are in there, I like having what we do be just public. And I think it kind of reminds all of us to be respectful, to be cool and really just be cool and respectful, in all the things that we talk about. So I like having that public scrutiny, if you will. So the two options, I'm going to do let's do a quick survey. Basically, the question is, um, Let me see. Do we want to sign FERPA papers? So we'll do this like this. Okay, one is, I'm going to show you how we do these little surveys in Discord. Hang on. We sign FERPA papers or we don't stream. Yeah, we don't stream to YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna drop this. It's in the chat, okay? You don't answer in the chat, okay? You add a reaction to it, okay? Of either one or two. If you go down, I'm gonna drop a 1 and a 2. Here we go. There's a 1. Yeah, you can't be thumb ups. It's thumbs up. It's an either or. The thumbs up doesn't make any. Thank you. So it's the 1 and the 2. Okay. Um, I think you got the hang of it. And then for those that are, if you're voting for don't stream to YouTube, let's talk about that and decide what works best. For example, the alternative is if you do stream to YouTube and you're worried about privacy, then you can change your name in the in the Discord server just for this class. Okay, so that it'll be just something else. And then if you don't want your voice if you don't want your voice to show up on the thing, you can just put your comments in the chat and still participate fully. So for the two, right now we're at 25 to 2. And okay, cool, 27 to 1. And so for those, if we wind up with any non-zero number in the don't stream to YouTube category, would you check with me so I can try to, see what your concerns are? There is the big advantage of just having it there, and frankly, everything I've heard about saving streamed classes on Canvas, I don't know. It just always seems like some weird hellscape at the end of the day. Okay. All right. So 28 and 0. I don't know how many students are supposed to be in this class, but okay, I got to do one more thing. And then we'll try to talk about what we're doing here. Just a second. No, actually, this will be okay. Just a second. We have an automated way of doing roll. Okay. Okay, so let's go step number 1. The total on the survey is 29 to none. Okay, so what I'll do, we'll do like a first assignment or something will be sign the FERPA. And I did this for 305G. So just to reiterate, it basically says the name that you're using for this server over on that left-hand column is going to show up on the stream. So therefore, you agree that you're going to change your name, either leave it, as it is now, or just go first names only, or code names, or whatever. And I'll just call, even if you've got your full name there, I will call you only by your first name for the sake of the audio stream and the streaming. Okay. Braden, not able to join voice anymore. I don't even know what that means, Braden. Um, there's not like a max limit, I don't think, on body count for the voice channel. I don't know. Okay, so next step. Um, what is your what? Tell me about. So this is 496R. It is a. Um, actually, hang on a second. Um, what's your expectation? What what have you been led to believe? So 496R, I think it's called Senior Seminar. Um, it's 1 credit hour, and from my perspective, it is an artifact of a bygone era. It's which the good news is. The bad news is we're a little bit of the blind leading the blind. The good news is um, we can do whatever the crap we feel like that's valuable, and that's kind of cool. Um, Let me tell you a little. Well, tell me what your expectation is. You can unmute and jump in the voice or drop it in the text. Doesn't matter to me. Okay. And by the way, topics of coolness, that's kind of what that's up there for. I dropped the link up. If you look up the chat, there's a link to that Google Doc. And so anything you want to drop in there, idea wise, because this is the part where what did you think going in? But now that we have the chance to think about it and do whatever we want, we can drop it in and make it be whatever we want to be. But I like that. What other things? Is that read only, Daniel? Okay, hang tight. Okay, shoot. Let me. I thought I sincerely. Yeah, it should be anyone on the internet with this link can view. Da 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 is editor. So everybody can please be well behaved. And now it should. I'm going to drop the link again, but it ought to. We good? You're able to. Are you able to edit? Can I get somebody to randomly type something? There we go. All right. I needed waiting for the proof of concept. Um, yeah. Okay. So what else? So we had the industries. Somebody mentioned I didn't see your name, but mentioned the CS industry. That's a very favorite topic. What other things have you either heard or hoped that we would do? Um, okay, I like that. That's less topical, but more expectations. Okay, what else? Okay, what does that mean? Explain, what you mean by that. Okay, so you're talking about, Michael, you're talking about just startups that are out there that were like, okay, that's a cool thing, or this is some of the cool things that are emerging, that kind of thing. Okay. Eh. What else? And by the way, I don't have to be the one typing this if anybody else wants to. Okay, we gotta have a conversation about fonts and uh, colors and backgrounds for readability. That one says information about how to do well in job interviews in the CS field. Okay, I love that. Love that. What else? What else? And you don't even have to say it out loud to put it in the doc. That's why just open that wide up for everybody. Um, doesn't that kind of have like a funky organic feel? I love it. Okay, what else? And by the way, this is what things you've heard, and or things you hope, right? Because I try to operate for the most part in a world of what do we want it to be, whether I don't care what it's been. You know what I mean? That to me, the worst possible reason to do just about anything is that's the way we've always done it around here. To me, is mostly about the dumbest reason. There are reasons why we've done it that way. Let's get back to those reasons. But the fact that we've done it this way by itself may or may not have any actual bearing on value, right? Yeah, so okay, so yeah, Maelstrom said, and that's up there now, interview doing it well in job interviews. Yeah, yeah. And that was okay. Apologies on the copy paste. Um, Useful skills, Cassie. I'm not sure, we'll talk about what does that mean. Um, Pieces of knowledge, what to expect for our first job. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So that like different, yeah, 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 yeah. Um, Languages that are in demand. Yeah, I like that. And if those of you that have like dropped your chats in, if you would also just drop that in, because I'm gonna lose. There's beginning to be enough activity, which I love, that it's hard for me to try to own the document and the discussion at the same time. Let me hit a few of these other ones. What's interesting is I'm not hearing any of you say what this seminar thing used to be, which I'm somewhat happy about. Let me just see. James heard that there would be industry professionals. Okay, I haven't heard that. However, we can make that happen. Okay, and we've got. I think at the end of the day, there's like 14 topics, 14 days of 50 minutes, right? So it's not even the regular hour and 15. It's a short window. But industry professionals and I like that a lot. Red flags looking out for a job. Did you want to put that in there? Is that, yep, got it. And Riley, what employers are looking for on a resume. I'd love to talk about that. Is that in there? Yep. And yeah, unpaid internships, not a fan, not in this industry. Um, oh, interesting, interesting. Okay, and drop that in the thing, okay? Um, yeah, and so yeah, Maelstrom. I will tell you what this used to be, okay? Um, And yes, on the copy paste. Yeah. So Garrett said, didn't this used to be senior review? Yeah. So now, predating me, I've been on faculty for 3 years, right? Some of you have had me, right? Wait, I'm going to do a survey real quick, okay? Um, this is the survey. It's just going to say, I have had Dr. K in a class before. And then if we could do like a Y or N on the reaction there. The value there is for me is to get a feel for how many of you know kind of what you're getting yourself into, with some obvious caveats like this is a 1 credit class, and we're gonna dial the workload back, appropriately. Um, Ooh, I like that, Austin. The remote versus office. In fact, there's some interesting things there that we can talk about. I am legit uh, Z1 to King or possibly Zelda King. I can't tell. Um, Yeah, here's what it used to be. So long ago, predating me, there was a uh, there was an exam, I guess, like some, I don't know, competency exam or something. I don't even know what it was, honestly. It wasn't even like a licensing. It was like you get a, I don't know, you get a credential for it. I don't know. And in order to prepare students, this is my understanding, okay? But in order to prepare students for that, I got distracted with Aaron's post. Interesting. Okay. Um, but they began to do this senior seminar in part to prepare students for this, comprehensive exam or whatever thing. Now, and I've talked to students who felt like it was kind of cool to be able to talk about technical topics, like I never really understood, whatever. And then you turn around and spend a lecture here talking about, I don't know, bee trees or the pumping lemma. I don't know, and for me, just my own opinion is it doesn't jive with me real great, that whole thing. To me, it's like we already have classes to do all that stuff, and picking up, one more 40-minute discussion about a certain technical topic when you already got that had that class and can go back and kind of look that back up. To me, I'd rather spend it um, talking about things you're not going to get anywhere else, if at all possible, and trying to have it be a little bit of fun, a little bit of, kind of, you know what I mean, a little bit of a diversion, but maybe some meaningful things that feel more like what's the last thing I want to, shove into you before we send you out into the world, right? And so that's kind of where it all came from. We're about 50-50 on had me before. All right. So those of you that want to get yourself out, you know what you're in for. Um, but it's mostly about just trying to get a feel for my style, I guess, and for the last 2 years, year and a half, we've been doing online everything, right? So anyway, um, let me see. I'm just looking at the others here. Michael. Oh, thanks, man. Cassidy, pajamas versus white collar. Is that a survey question? Um, is freelance work actually a viable option? Oh, that's a great question. Great questions. Okay. Thanks, Cassidy. Um, all right. Let me take a look at what we got here. We got, let me blow that up just a little bit. Nope, it's blowing up the wrong thing because I'm a dum dum. Hang on. Maybe I need to get to the right spot. Then I can blow it up. That ought to be just a little more readable. Eventually, I can move the memes. I can like scoochy the memes out of the way, you know. Um, but now I guess that's okay. By the way, how are we doing on the sheep scale? I'm going to do another survey, okay? Sheep scale. You got to respond with a number 1 through 9. There's the survey. And I'm going to add my own reaction. Wait, there you go. Yeah, you gotta drop it into um wait, hang on. Here's how we do the surveys. There we go. You see them popping? 426, etc. Drop a number. Yeah. Um, Let me see. Hot mic Maelstrom. Um, yeah, no, interesting, Daniel. Appreciate that one. If there's kind of a survey there, Daniel just threw down full stack versus, let's just call it CS, I guess. Maybe we can drop a C for CS. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So Daniel, the sheep scale, it's on the streaming video. I've got the video streaming into on the screen share here in Discord. Can you see that? Does everybody see it? Does everybody know that there's video streaming to you? There we go. And thank you for the extra help. Um, yeah, anyway. I think I'm four. I'm going for four. Nobody, oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm solid four today. Just not ready, not ready. I had all these visions for the whole semester and I'm not ready for this fall. Okay. Um, so let me kind of hit these and what we got to basically do um, is take a look here. We've got CS industry, not a lot of homework. Not a lot of homework is more of like a requirement, but I agree. What I want you guys to do basically for homework is like write a paragraph, drop a paragraph. Writing is still a good thing. And those of you that have me in 305G, um, the writing is really, really important and valuable. Okay, let me do one other thing then real quick. I'm going to pull up the little happy topic syllabus, whatever thing. Okay, and I'm going to just drop it right here and blow it up. I want to just talk about it quickly. And right behind here, we'll come back to that, okay? Is that, yeah, make sure we're still looking right. Yeah, that works pretty good. Let me get the sheep out of the way. Okay. Um, yeah, so the bottom line is we decide what's cool. We put it on the schedule. I prep some material, some discussion. Welcome to just pick my brain about the world. It can be hardcore topic, or it can be more kind of meta level, right? I mean, it can be, oh, pumping lemma. I always wanted to know more about it. Um, and the guest speaker thing I dig. We got 14, 13 after this, right? And that's really all, it can be technical, career oriented, tangential to CS. I don't even care as long as it relates somehow. Um, this is about how we're doing it. I would really appreciate it if you called me Dr. K or Chuck, but not, whoa, hot mic. But the only thing that I actually really dislike is just being called straight up professor, because to me that's as impersonal as me calling you student. So if you've had me, you already know my nit on this. It's only because it just discourages humanity. It discourages the human exchange. It creates like the only defining thing that if someone calls me professor, it feels like the only defining characteristic relative to my humanity that you're ready to acknowledge is my title and or position with respect to you. And therefore, if I called you student, just simply student, it would be and I think it would be very insulting if I called you student, as opposed to trying to like learn your name. And I assure you, I have more students than you have teachers. Um, so that's just my personal nit. It just feels impersonal, and I want to make sure we're touching base on the humanity. So most students call me either Dr. K or Chuck, and I'm really fine with any of those. Um, if you've got questions, DM me on Discord. Okay, it is the best way to get through. There are some posted times. I am going to be working on 2810 stuff back in the testing lobby. We haven't done that since halfway through spring 2020, but I will be hanging out in the lobby of the CS building in person. And what else? Yeah, email me if you have to email me. Shoot it to my UVU address. Canvas. The only bottom line is that the Canvas email sucks. That's my short version of that. Okay. And then really all it is, the assignments are just, I'll tell you about them real quick, at least the way I'm trying to do it. I just want you to just show you were there, show that you care, but it's not meant to be a rigorous academic experience. Attendance is 30%. Okay. And then actually, no, if I go, where is it? Oh, here we go. Yeah. So, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. So here's the deal. The way we're going to do this thing is um, it's whatever we want to talk about, right? But I also want you to learn to write better. Like if I'm going to make you do something and also try to learn a little bit more, I'd like you to write a little bit better. Okay. So we're talking about a paragraph, not a big paragraph, 5 sentences, a modest paragraph. Um, and so we'll have the topics laid out, right? And then once we talk about something in the class, you got till the following Sunday night to drop your little post, okay? But you got to have it in on time, okay? But here's the deal on late policy, and I'll come back to how we grade these. Um, if you don't submit it on time, you got one more week at half credit for that paragraph. After that, it's just a zero. And that is for two reasons. And I'm just going to say they're equal. One is my own convenience, because you know how I like to optimize to my convenience. Um, it's my own convenience in the sense that it becomes an absurd time sink to try to manage and then be fair and be, you know, equitable to all the peoples. So, but the second thing is, if I say no, don't worry about it. Have it, last during the pandemic, um, everything being remote, and I had some pretty bad semesters myself, um, just health wise. There was a point where I'm just like, oh, you know what? We're all struggling here. Just do it whenever you can get to it. Those were the biggest failures. I mean, the environments in which I was doing that actually generated the largest failure rates in classes that I've ever seen. So I don't think it benefits you in the end. And if you suddenly go, oh crap, I lost half the points on this thing, and then you are just doing it, I think it's going to actually come back to bless you. Um, so it's really both of those, okay? But if there are extenuating circumstances, and I forgot is not an extenuating circumstance. If you've got issues and you have accommodations, and by the way, let me just say one other thing about accommodations. We have what is the office called? Um, I think what's it called? I want to say it's called accommodations, but basically, we just got health issues or whatever the struggle is. There's an office. What's it called? Accessibility. Thank you, thank you. I know what it is. Anyway, they do a fantastic work. Okay, they do great work. And if you're struggling at all with personal issues, health issues, emotional issues, whatever kind of struggles that might be, um, you talk to them, and their job is to kind of know what's kind of generally reasonable or not, and then they'll just kick a letter. Some of you have probably already done that, um, and then I'm always going to be accommodating and respectful of that. And then the reality is, even if you don't have that letter, but you'll just willing to talk to me, I'm going to work with you anyway. Okay. But just know that when it's only a paragraph, literally, you should just get out of class, write your bloody paragraph, be done with it. Okay. Um, all right. This is what you need to try to do. It relates to the topic. It's well written. There are no grammatical or spelling mistakes, just grammar and spelling. I'm not even like deep insight. Yeah, we'll do one for today as well, Maelstrom. Um, and it uses the secret word from class. So the idea is this is sort of a attendance check. Having done 305G online and 3450 online, I'm going to just see if anybody's in this category. It's a very bad play. I'll just say it anyway, and it might still happen, which is somebody is, they log in because attendance is part of the grade. So, right, they join the chat and then whatever, they just watch The Office for the rest of the time period. Um, I think that lacks integrity for one thing, so I'm not impressed that way. But I've actually had, how you can mute your mic, you can also mute your audio, right? So I actually had, if you look over on the left, if I mute my audio, I'm going to do it. See? Hang on. Okay, when I did that, you can see that both the mic and the headphones went off, which means I can't hear anything going on. I actually had occasionally students that would mute their mic and their headphones, which is kind of obvious. That's like failure of stealth, right? Anyway, but as in order to kind of say, look, you were there, you were engaged, at least pay the price of, 45 or 50 minutes of being engaged in the conversation. Um, and so I decided that every class period I was gonna uh, say a secret word, but I would tell you what the secret word is. I would say the secret word is, and we got to come up with one right now. Um, and I'm just thinking, I think the secret word should be buckethead. Sheep. Yeah, see, exactly. Dan. It has to do with the sheep. Buckethead. Okay? Just either buckethead or sheep with a bucket on its head or bucket sheep. Anything of this sort is the secret word, okay? You have to use the secret word somewhere in your blog, in your little post. It doesn't have, you can even just say, oh, and the secret word was buckethead. Um, or you can weave it in to the text somehow if you want to get creative. Okay. All right. So if you don't use the secret word, you lose 1 point out of 5. And if it's not related to the topic of the day, then you were probably mailing it in. Okay. Let me see. And if you've got minor grammatical or spelling mistakes, -1. If the writing is just the suck, -2. But you don't have to be even that insight. You don't have to be insightful. It's not like, your analysis that's a little weak, or your plot development. You know, I'm not gonna. No, no. So what I'd like you to do, Hunter, um, over on the assignment. So Hunter asked, do we just submit a Word doc for that assignment? If you go over here to, like, here comes assignment 1, and it's just going to be right there. Submit your paragraph as a text. You're just going to drop it right in. If you do the Word thing, then we got to open those, or they download text entry. That's it. And I think, yeah, the submitting is a text entry box. Okay, cool, cool. And you should see something like that. Something, you know what I mean? That's it. And that's it. 14 of those. 14 of those, and that is all other than being here. And what I hope is that this is going to be entertaining and engaging enough that it's worth being here. Um, that's kind of my goal, and I believe it. I believe it can be, should be. There's a number of different ways of being engaged and having it be meaningful. Okay, let's go back to this then. Let me see. Going back. And yeah, there is an assignment for today, due Sunday night. And what I would do is just as soon as we're done here, take 10 minutes, take 15 minutes, do the thing. I'm not going to grade them. Here's the other thing. I'm not going to grade them until, you know, after Sunday night. So I won't grade these till next week. If you drop something in and then come back and either edit it, change it, submit another one, I'll take whatever the latest and greatest version is. Okay. But really, just get somebody to read it who who isn't going to make stupid grammatical mistakes or stupid writing mistakes. Okay. That's the key. Because even though it's like you lose 1 point, it's like 1 out of 5, but there's only 14 assignments. Okay. And 14 times 5 is 70. So every point you lose is a percent of your overall grade. So it's not meant to be super rigorous. Okay. But just all you have to do is say words in English sentences that are just grammatically correct and don't have spelling mistakes. That's it. Okay. And no, it doesn't have to be about the secret word. You just have to, so 4x4, uh, just write a paragraph as a text entry about the secret word. No. About anything you want, you just have to use the secret word. Okay? Does that make sense? You have to say the secret word somewhere in your little paragraph. But the text entry ought to be about the topic of the day. Just your thoughts, your feelings, anything, brainstorming, ideas, just pretty free form in terms of you can literally be here's some cool thoughts I had while we were talking. Joinky, joinky, joinky. That's the sound that your keyboard makes when you type your ideas. It says joinky. Um, you know what I mean? Like here's my 5 coolest takeaways. That works for me. Okay, 5 coolest takeaways. So that while we're in class and an idea hits, you just bulletize them. In fact, what about doing that? What about that? Bullet points. Your 5 cool takeaways. Just 5 cool takeaways from class. That'd probably be easier, right? I mean, isn't that easier if we make that form? One of the bullet points has to be the secret word. I think that's better. Should we do that? Because then you don't have to worry about crafting a paragraph. You just have to say sentences. Just bullet point. I think we got a lot of likes going on. Okay. Right? Because then because a lot of times it's trying to build the damn paragraph, like, oh, I got to begin it. And then I got to, instead of just like, you know, takeaways from class. I really liked the sheep meme, whatever. Uh, Whatever. It doesn't matter. But then it's just, but the rule still applies. The sentence has to be grammatically correct and spelled. Okay. So I'm going to modify this right after class to say that. Okay. Um, so I think we've covered the not a lot of homework. So I'm going to delete that. Okay. Um, and we've got 7 minutes. Um, Interesting. I'm just giving these a read. Because what I'd like to do, the reason there's some of these we can actually jump into in 5 minutes that we have. Um, the other thing, though, is that for some of these, there's probably some interesting readings, a little article, a little, you know, blog post. Let me see. No, so Braden, the topics are organically morphing before your eyes in this Google Doc. So it is. They are not. Okay, Braden. Yeah, they're not anchored. They're not planned. Um, and you absolutely have influence. Um, does anyone have trouble with Git and version control? I think that's a great topic as well, Tyler. Um, let me see. Um, yeah. What? Let me see. Best way now. I'm just out of curiosity. I'm just curious how many there are. 17 right now. Um, well, let's figure this out. What do we want to talk about next week from this list? And I will tell you the ones that jump out at me, but then maybe we can like kind of vote. I'm intrigued by the remote office versus work office, in part because we have freaking lived it, so crazy, right? For the last, you know, effing pandemic crap. Um, so I like that one. I really am a fan of that topic of imposter syndrome, although I don't know how much, there is. And I'm going to unhighlight. There we go. Piggybacking on the previous highlight. Um, Big fan of the industry professionals. But for next time, can speak to that. I'm just highlighting the ones um, that jump out at me. And I think that relates to, I don't know. What do you think? So that's five topics. Um, do you want to maybe just drop in some votes? Um, like, what's the right way to vote? Put like a one, like a check mark, like 111. Everybody just tack on. Let's see. What do you think? Yeah, and I think that if you just add a one, then it'll just be like a binary tally. I think it's the problem is you get a race condition, right? If somebody like goes nine, then somebody else is typing nine, typing 10, and then you know what I mean. You get these funny race conditions going on. So let's do this then, because we're about out of time. We'll take a look. I'll take a look at what the ultimate winner is. You can keep voting here, um, and let's see. Are there any like lingering questions about really just anything? Um, yeah, Braden. Yeah, and yeah, James, we can drop that number, once we've got the grand total. Of course, this is all very much honor system, right? Because anybody could go in and start just deleting crap, Nobody would be stopped other than by their own just personal sense of morals. Um, okay, it's kind of looking like doing well in job interviews, which actually is related to imposter syndrome and is actually related to looking for a job and what employers are looking for in a resume. So I think there's enough there. And what I'll try to do is drop some, just find some interesting articles, blog posts, easy reading that I'll drop into the syllabus. Okay. Yes, yes, 4x4. We could, in fact, check the version history. Correct. All right. Hey, we're out of time, and I definitely want to try to start on time and on time to the extent possible. Um, yeah, Braden, I like that as well. Okay, my friends. I hope this should just be a nice, fun, pleasant little hour every Monday plus 5 minutes to do to drop the notes, and I'm going to change that right now in the in Canvas for the how the little homeworky thing works. So okay, alrighty, it's great to be back with everybody.